More and more problems for the world-famous soccer player Cristiano Ronaldo. Not only is he left off of a pair of upcoming matches in Portugal, Nike, who does have a contract with him, has now said, quote, it is deeply concerned amid allegations that he sexually assaulted a Las Vegas woman in 2009. The woman accusing Ronaldo is Catherine Mayorga. Her attorney says because she reported this when it happened, the claim still applies today. 8 News Now reporter Sasha Loftus joining us now to explain. Sasha? Now back to those weekend shootings. The first was actually the result of a 16-hour police standoff that began at 9:30 Friday night. That's when police say a woman flagged down a Metro officer alleging that she'd been kidnapped and raped inside an apartment near Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard. And about 3 months ago, hundreds of wild horses were captured in Cold Creek, which is about 60 miles northwest of Las Vegas. This after the BLM and the U.S. Forest Service decided the area was just too dangerous for the animals. 8 News Now reporter Sasha Loftus caught up with one man who's made it his mission to give the horses a new lease on life. And it's a story you'll only see on 8 News Now. And I'm Denise Valdez, so we begin with live team coverage here at 5 o'clock. Our chief meteorologist, Ted Florendo, has been tracking the storm and its winds that reach as high as 155 miles per hour. We're going to check in with Ted in just a moment. But we start tonight with correspondent Hillary Lane, who is live in Panama City with the very latest from the thick of it all. Hillary? Those numbers are part of the reason to increase punishment for impaired drivers. Starting October 1st, a new law goes into effect, cracking down on repeat DUI offenders. Anyone busted for driving under the influence will be required to install ignition interlocks, preventing their car from even starting. 8 News Now reporter Karen Castro is live in the newsroom with the changes that aim to save lives on the road. He is in town campaigning for state GOP candidates just ahead of the midterm elections, which are in November, of course. We are tracking this presidential visit with team coverage. Politics Now anchor Patrick Walker is inside the convention center where the president is set to speak.
This is breaking news from 8 News Now.
Good evening. Another night filled with anxiety in Las Vegas as dozens of officers respond to Town Square after reports of a gunman was spotted. Thanks for joining us. I'm Denise Valdez. People saw somebody with a gun, and because of the sensitivity of what's been going on in Las Vegas over the past several months, people got nervous, they got scared, and they started using the word active shooter. That is not the case. This is a fight that got crazy, they got wild, and apparently somebody there decided they were going to end that fight and hold a gun. It is a deadly start to the holiday weekend. 2 people killed in 2 crashes just over the last 24 hours, and one of them was a child. The first happened at Craig and Lamb just after midnight. Police say a man died after crashing into a pole. Then at about 8:30, police say a driver ran a red light at Eastern and Harmon, hitting and killing a child in the backseat of a car. Our Patrick Walker joining us now live with details on that incident. Patrick? I'm Denise Valdez. That slow-moving system is expected to bring catastrophic flooding, huge waves, and powerful winds to Hawaii.
President Trump issued a disaster declaration to provide support for Hawaii, where torrential rains already hitting parts of the island chain.
Now, this is actually video that was taken from a neighborhood not too far from Hilo, where they're already starting to see quite a bit of flooding.
Yeah, the system's setting up to be a significant rain event. We're tracking this with team coverage. Ted and Christiane are on set with the very latest in the storm's activity and the impact residents are now seeing.
Karen Castro is also live at McCarran Airport with the impact of travel. But let's begin tonight live in Waikiki, where reporter Mark Carpenter tells us how residents there are preparing. Mark? As Hurricane Lane moves closer now to Hawaii, torrential rain already hitting parts of the island chain. It has now been downgraded to a Category 3 hurricane. The system is setting up, though, to be a pretty significant rain event. Forecasters are predicting over 30 inches in some parts. As you can see in that live shot there behind him, just a lot of looky-loos right now because really the worst hasn't really hit him. We're back now here in the Weather Center with Ted. You've been tracking Lane's path. Where is it right now?
Just about 200 miles off the coast of Kona. That's the Big Island right now.
Heather Barden and Daniel Wisp are accused of breaking into a home, taking everything inside, then moving it to their own house about 15 minutes away. 8 News Now reporter Sasha Loftus joining us now live outside the victim's home with details on this pretty unusual case. And I'm Denise Valdez. We do know that officers were there investigating reports of a person with a long gun. We have learned so far that no shots were fired, no one was hurt. However, they wanted to make sure everyone stayed that way, so police shut down Boulevard Mall, pulled everybody, evacuated them out. They never found, though, the person with this long gun, but when they did go back and look at security video from the mall, they realized that that long gun was actually a rifle. The man that they were looking for was also wearing a mask. at the top of the 5 o'clock newscast. We're getting a little kind of swept into the whole Go Knights Go energy. I'm Denise Valdez. This is Brian Loftus. We've been live out here since 4 o'clock for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. We keep talking about the energy, the community, and this is really going to be an amazing series. The Gila Monster. Well, you know, like when your friends go on vacation and they bring you back a T-shirt? The line has been long here for the bathroom, for beer, and for merchandise.
That's very true.
So, by the way, this little guy, Chance, $30 to take home your Vegas Golden Knight memory.
30 bucks?
30 bucks.
Bring the cash. By the way, you were so polite. You went over. Do you mind if I borrow that for a second?
Can I borrow your little mascot?
Don't worry, we'll return it.
And thank you for joining us for our election night coverage here on your local election headquarters. I'm Denise Valdez. Yeah, Clark County Election Headquarters is the hub of activity right now as they scramble to try and get those numbers out, but they got to wait for every county in the state to already be ready, and that hasn't happened yet. Let's check in with 8 News Now reporter Darlene Melendez, who's live at election headquarters tonight. Darlene?
And as Denise pointed out, within about the past hour.
So Politics Now co-host Steve Sebelius joining us. Earlier in the evening, these numbers were much different. We're starting to see some numbers now from Clark County, from Washoe County. Any surprises so far? 4 precincts in Washoe County, according to Patrick Walker, that were waiting to close. They have now closed, but they physically have to drive those boxes of ballots to their election headquarters in that county. That's already happened here, so it could be a little while before they feed all those things to the machine and actually get some numbers to us. So it could be in for a long night. Project Neon may be 88% complete, but there's still a lot of work left to be done. And traffic anchor Nate Tannenbaum says one less lane heading into the Spaghetti Bowl might be driving you crazy. Karen, thank you. We also took part in a ride-along with Southern Nevada Health District to check out these illegal dumping sites. Now, from paint cans to laundry detergent, motor oil, even a microwave, all those items dumped in the desert and could make your way into our water supply. So we're going to tell you what we found out and what it could cost you. That story coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Ileana, some of those images are just heartbreaking. We've watched them throughout the weekend. If people want to help the folks there in California, what are they recommending they do? Second time, it tied its record for the hottest month, an average of 108 every day. So here's Las Vegas. Here's Death Valley. On average, 108 in the month of July. Ted, you know this. Actually, the hottest temperature it got last month, here it is. Boom, 127 degrees. They hit it 4 days in a row in Death Valley.
I'm sweating when I'm just looking at that number. If you want a place to actually cook an egg on the ground, but don't eat it, you go to Death Valley.
You can do it right there.
that's hot enough.
I was going to say, it doesn't look too bad for a Friday afternoon, especially on a holiday.
They're already in the sports book.
Yeah, right? All right, so we are obviously heading into a long holiday weekend. We might stay just south of 100 degrees. Here's Ted now with the first look at our forecast. Labor Day weekend festivities are already in full swing for those who are cooling off, let's say, out at Lake Mead. Brittany Edney joining us now live from there with how boaters are staying safe. Brittany?
All right, thank you both. Denise.
Just as a reminder, you each do get a full minute and your 30-second rebuttal. So for our next question tonight, veterans have certainly become a major topic during this election. Can each of you name the most important bill for veterans that still needs to pass in the next session of the Congress? And also talk about how you would make sure that it does pass. Senator Heller, you can answer this one first. Senator, in your 30-second rebuttal, you talked about some of the accomplishments, but what's next? What's the next thing that needs to happen? Hi there, Denise Valdez reporting live tonight at Town Square for National Night Out. And I have to say, this is probably the safest place in America tonight. We are surrounded by Las Vegas Metro Police, and we're joined tonight by Captain Kelly McMahill, who is captain of the South Central Area Command. You put on quite a block party tonight. It's a lot of fun, but you've got a serious message for anyone that's coming out, right? Metro Police tonight selling these T-shirts, Metro Strong. They have an officer who is in need of a kidney transplant, and they are raising money tonight, selling them for $20 each. This is just some of the neighborhood things that happen at an evening like this. We are live tonight at the Healing Garden, remembering the 58 lives that were lost 1 year ago today. And we're also taking a look at how our community has really rallied together to go from Vegas Strong to Vegas Stronger. And for some of the survivors, though, finding that strength really comes from finding it in each other. 8 News Now reporter Urko Manna spoke to one woman who says those bonds are really what helped keep her going. Tonight, we're also recounting some of the stories of hope and healing, of course, 1 year later. A lot of people are showing their support of their first responders with something very permanent, a permanent tribute. We're talking about tattoos. In fact, over the weekend, Massive Tattoo Studio in Las Vegas hosted a fundraiser featuring a Vegas strong designs, all of the proceeds benefiting local first responders. We're seeing a lot of people making this permanent tribute, so it's a day that they will never forget. Brand new week, brand new forecast, and Ted has our first freeze warning of the season.
You remember the 4 Ps?
Of
Can I tell you?
course.
Let's do it.
Pets.
Pipes.
Pets.
Gotcha.
Pets and pipes. We got
Plants.
those covered.
Plants,
Pool.
and then pools.
Popcorn. No,
Yeah,
pools. Yeah.
Yeah, people too, because you want to bring your spouses in.
Look at
Cuisine
those
and-
donuts, Brian.
Donuts have really taken it to another level in the past half decade,
They've
haven't
gotten
they?
very bougie.
They really have. They used to be just a donut, kind of a traditional cake donut. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff on top.
No, it's like up here now. Thanks for joining us here at 5 o'clock. CBS Evening News is coming up next.